be drinking to start.
There you go. It is happy hour, Sean.
It's always a day. It's always good to start with a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is Jen Hadley with Candy Event Consulting, as you can see by my fancy fedora. Hi, Lisa. It's been a while.
Oh, my goodness. It feels like I haven't seen you forever, honestly. Like,
I know.
Text is one thing, but and I think Zoom is a great for now, but it'll be amazing to be back in the office.
Totally. And speaking of, here's Sean. This is Sean Mackenzie. He is what is your title, Sean, at Work Nicer?
I am the community architect at Work Nicer, and I'm also a member of Work Nicer.
What does community architect mean for you?
So basically, I am looking for cool new people to come and join our community, who will fit in well with our current members and all that sort of fun stuff.
Awesome. So just for people who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but Work Nicer is a co-working community space, and you have 4 outposts, 3 in Calgary, 1 in Edmonton. And tell us about what kind of work your members do. What is the community that we would be fitting new people into?
Oh,
feel about?
Well,
in 30 seconds or less.
And go.
That's a great question. Pretty much anybody who's looking to be a part of something bigger than just their own sort of business. It doesn't, like, it's not necessarily like, oh, you're a tech person, or you're in social media, or you're an events coordinating company, or those sorts of things. We have lawyers, we have architects, we have, accountants. We even have, for a while there, we had like a massage therapist. Like, we've got all sorts of different types of industries that would call Work Nicer home.
That's really great.
Which is actually, I think for us when we went there, Jen, like, we've been members now for 3 months. Time is just so crazy right now, but
yeah, time doesn't mean anything anymore.
We've been home for 3 months, so
exactly. Well, and honestly, I think when we got there, it's a variety of different entrepreneurs and businesses and the energy behind it. Common denominator would be what, Sean, like with the people there?
Well, I think that the common denominator is, like I said at the beginning, it's people who are trying to, get to their goal, but not be able to accomplish that with other people around them who are also working towards their goals as well. Our goals may be different, but the big thing that we've got tying ourselves together is that we really are trying to achieve those goals. And you have a story, I have a story, and even though we might be in completely different industries, there's something we can learn from each other and ways that we can support each other. So
absolutely. And I think that it's also really great to have such a variety. What are you at, like 400-ish members now?
So we're at 650.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're at 650 members. Yeah, and that includes Edmonton as well. So we view Work Nicer as a complete community, and not just hey, you happen to fit into this particular outpost or that particular outpost, or this city or that city.
And you know what I love the best about it is that if I need somebody in a certain role or in a certain industry, if I need an IT person or a website designer or a lawyer or a whatever, I can usually find someone in the community, and that's been so great. I think that that's probably one of the strengths that I've noticed with the community.
It really is. I mean, and because what we try to do is we try to foster a friendly relationship that, like, hey, we're all in this struggle together, that then it builds that level of trust between members that allows you to go, hey, I am looking for, I'll use my previous career. I'm looking for someone who does promotional products for a trade show that I'm going to. Oh, hey, I met Sean. Sean's a great guy. He could do it. Or Sean might be able to say, hey, I don't do that, but I've always used this guy. Let me introduce you to him. So you'll also get, second party sort of, introductions to people that have done good work for other members in the past as well. So if you can't find it in the community, usually somebody in the community could find it for you.
Oh, there's a guy. Jen knows all the guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That came out wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Jen always says to me, "Oh, I know a guy."
Yeah.
Okay.
We need this. We need this.
There's time out. There's a difference between I got a guy for that and Jen knows all the guys. Let's just
Yeah. You need to make sure.
We'll put your dating status in the chat box after.
Yeah.
It's not on the chat on the Slack channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so funny.
She doesn't know all the guys, but Jen can find the guy through the community.
Yes.
There you go.
So, Sean, there's a lot of co-working space options for people, and not just in Calgary, but all over the place now. What makes, in your opinion, what makes Work Nicer a really unique co-working option for people?
Well, and again, especially when there's so many different spots where you can go, it's really what we've held on to in our main belief and our why. Like when you really get to the heart of it, it's why Work Nicer. Well, I mean, Work Nicer is a community first, right? So we have 4 outposts. They all look great. They've got desks. We've got coffee. We've got beer. We've got printing. All of those things are great and awesome, and stuff that you need to get shit done. But really the why is we are trying to build an entrepreneurial community together. And I honestly feel, and I think as we do this interview further on, we'll dive deeper into it. The community is what is holding us together right now.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why people are still, at Work Nicer and plan to be at Work Nicer after this is all done.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it, right? We've seen the come and go of a lot of work spaces where it's successful or not for specific reasons. But I have to say, and I've told this to Lisa, I don't know how many times, you guys really hit it. When this whole COVID thing started and nobody knew what to do, where to go, if they're coming to work, anything. I think that you guys you did it right in the sense that the Slack channels have been amazing. It's been, the community's still alive and still thriving, and my phone blows up all day long. I had to actually turn the notifications off.
that's
to get some work done. Well, no, to homeschool your children.
I have my own personal, I'm homeschooling, so I can't be at Drink Nicer on a Friday. But I think that you guys have just been really, really making the effort, and it's so clear to get people still connected.
And to be it's not us. It's not Work Nice. Like when we say Work Nice and we say us, we mean everyone.
Yeah.
It's our members are awesome, and they've really come together to support each other and to support the Work Nicer team.
Totally.
Through this with messages of encouragement and loyalty and all that sort of stuff. And really, when you are trying to build a community, it's easy for me to say the community is great and try to push community myself, but it really starts with the community itself. Absolutely. That really makes it, and it's the people that are there, right? And less so about us.
Exactly. Well, and I think us looking at the world as connecting opportunities, right? An event for us, we call them connecting strategies. So it's not just about an event that is a one-day hit it, have some good feelings after. You sold the tickets, you've made some money, you've made some friends, whatever that goal is for the event. And you guys are living it. So I would love to, and you've got a lot of hashtags around the events that you do. But can you tell us, kind of pre-COVID, what were those important events, or the fun events, or the really some of the buzzworthy type of events that the members really would miss if they're not there, and what do they look like for you? So that this is kind of before everything hit.
Right. So I mean, a lot of the events that, and I think we've touched on this too, is, and if you were to come to Work Nicer without having seen it before and asked me about events, really almost all of the events are member-driven events. Yeah. So they are events that our members hold near and dear to their own hearts, and they manage and run their events kind of themselves. And the big ones were always, where you could get a lunch and learn, put out there. We had one that we ran called #DrinkNicer, which was a way that we could do kind of a community sort of happy hour, and a little bit more kind of at the end of the week, a way to celebrate wins and talk through some maybe tough times and get to know a few new people and have a couple drinks and kind of go from there. But all of the events that we would do, and we ran through, oh gosh, it would be like probably 20, at least 20 per city would be using our event space, our community rooms, and those sorts of things. Most of them were driven by members, and members would promote them through our Slack channel. So it was really virtual through that, and they'd have them on Eventbrite, or they would be able to open them up to the public or keep them as kind of member-only sort of things. But the key thing that connected them all was the physical space. Mm-hmm. They almost all typically were run either out of Work Nicer or maybe at a larger venue. But it was all about coming together physically in the same four walls.
Right. Jen, you actually took a tour, when was that, like 2 months ago or something like that, with Sean and saw what Work Nicer calls the outposts in Calgary. But can you describe maybe what you were seeing from the outside? Because we're relatively new to the Work Nicer community.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's cool, it's trendy, it's modern. Like you said, it's got all the bells and any office space that you would need. But the thing that I really liked about it was seeing everybody, like you come in and people are working and they're socializing and there's so much fun, and you can feel the energy just walking into the space, and then when we toured the second floor of
Red Mile.
Red Mile, yeah.
I know 17th Ave in my head.
Yeah.
Red Mile. It's been a while since I've been there. We looked at the actual space where you have most of your gatherings, which are those big, and you're equipped with TVs and everything, like AV systems and all that. So it's pretty plug and play, build your own event space. So awesome, because a lot of the members, like you said, they do a lot of learns and information sessions and things like that. You're not, I mean, you may have a wedding or an event like that, which it could accommodate, but I think that for the point of it, it's really great. And having that as an option where you're not, having to use your credits or pay extra, whatever it is, that's such a great perk to have. And you could definitely just sell it for space, but, sell it for space. But the fact that you haven't done that, and the fact that you want to make sure that there's a place for everyone to have that space is really important. I think that's so great. And having had that tour with you guys, I really learned a lot more about what it means to be part of that community, and to have a roster of, like now you're saying 650 people for potential partners or sponsors or anything like that, working together. It's super cool.
It could be, and also too, like you look at it, it's a new connection, it's a new face, it's somebody that you might say hi to at the coffee machine, and maybe you don't see them again for another couple months. You might get a new friend. Like I've made a few friends from there that I would consider, like, if I were to ever not be a part of Work Nicer, which I don't see that ever happening for me. These are people that I would still, see and hang out with and that sort of stuff. So again, it really all boils down to the people. Yeah. So we like to kind of cut through the bullshit and remove sort of that credit thinking and, I don't know if I want to do this because I'm thinking about like if you're thinking about that, it's hard for you to like really connect with the people and really come all into the community. So.
So it's interesting what Jen's saying about walking in, and as event people, we do a lot of venue tours.
Yeah.
We look at a lot of unconventional type of spaces and your traditional spaces like hotels, and but that the first thing Jen actually said was the energy. Like even when you're walking in, it's not about sort of what's on the walls or what the AV equipment looks like. It's about the energy in the space. And when you talk about members actually driving the events for themselves,
right.
We love working with entrepreneurs because of that drive, because they're really nonprofits the same way. A lot of nonprofit teams that we work with, entrepreneurs, small business, you're so close to the business success or not. that you eat it, right? Either way, you're going to eat it, and but you have to show up, and the friendships that you're making, we probably see that too, John. But where the face-to-face is where you actually see who you're resonating with, the conversations you're having, kind of those side conversations that are happening besides just the great event.
Right.
That for me is what keeps me going back, right? And so pre-COVID, pre-crisis, people could feel the energy. They're in the room, they're making friends, they're maybe not necessarily changing or exchanging business cards anymore. I love business cards still, but
pre-COVID, sure.
Pre-COVID.
Business cards are a taboo now. Go and burn them all.
Well, and it's interesting to me because I love something tactile, right? Like or the face-to-face experience where you're actually rubbing shoulders and you're having those deep conversations. How, Jen says you've done a great job, but how are you feeling when you actually recognize not only your event space for members, but now workspace for members? All of that is now shifting and changing. So I asked you, I was actually on a call today where a sales coach was talking about how your business could be 3 Ps, and I love alliteration, so it sticks with me. Yeah. Jen bugs me about it all the time, but whatever.
You about everything, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So the first one was your business could be positioning differently. The second one was your business could be pausing and sort of taking the deep breath and figuring out what's next. Or the third one was your business is pivoting. And when I mentioned that to you when we were off air here, Sean, you're like, well, I think we're doing all 3.
Yeah.
But in the context of events, how is Worknicer managing to create that energy online right now?
Well, I can tell you that it's been when it comes to events, it's definitely one of those things where we're still feeling our way through it. And I think, and if I said, oh, in a month from now, we'll know exactly how we're doing, and I'd be lying. Like it's definitely something that we're still pivoting on it. Like, how do we, members are still posting about their events that they're doing online through our Slack channels. So we're still seeing some movement in there. As far as our events, the stuff that we, as the Worknicer team would put forward, we've definitely increased the number of events that we normally do.
Awesome.
So we have
where's the increase for you? Where are you seeing the increase?
Well, the increase is in the number of events that we are pushing as a team to try to continue to keep the community together. So, before we would have Drink Nicer, and that was really kind of our main one. Now we're running, I think, 3 events a week plus another event that runs every day, where it's just allowing the community to kind of come together. And one's called Member Circle. We do that twice a week. And each time we get together with a topic, and we'll use some breakout sessions with our members to talk through these topics and gain some more information. From there, we will then sometimes be able to host other more specific events. So we did a legal Q&A with some members who are lawyers to help with specific questions about, how to manage COVID for your business. We also had another one with some of our accountants regarding all of the tools that are available that the government was making available to you. I know we're going to be doing one on sales soon, one on parenting, all these sorts of things that we gleaned from this member circle that we weren't doing before, right? And it took COVID for us to kind of start pushing that.
You know what? Sometimes it takes a pandemic to do something different, right? This is your pivot. But you also started this wellness what's it called? The wellness challenge or something like that? I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, we teamed with X Therapy on a 4-week wellness challenge. So some members and some of our team as well have started up on this 4-week, workout challenge. I mean, if you look at me, I'm not the workout guy.
Maybe it's time to pivot, John.
Your workout challenged? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like
all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And And then also too, we've even brought in a psychologist too, who will run 1 or 2 sessions a month right now, just to help us talk through. Like it's amazing how vulnerable, like we're all vulnerable people, but like when you've been able to foster a community of people that trust each other, right? You can be vulnerable and seek support from people that normally, if you just happen to see each other every day, but you were working in a separate office, like you wouldn't do.
No. And the cool thing about that whole, like all of those new initiatives that you've done, especially the circle that I've sort of listened into here and there, I can't wait to actually meet those people in person. No, really, like no matter which outpost they're at, like we're at Roxbury. Obviously, the Red Mile is more heavily populated, but just knowing that whoever from this big company who works at Red Mile is now somebody that I've had this virtual that's how you guys are feeling it.
And one of the interesting things as we talk about that we have 4 outposts and one of them is in Edmonton, I've noticed from this COVID crisis that the bridge has come together now. So we are seeing members who would be active in the Edmonton community and the greater Work Nicer community now really getting active with members from Calgary and vice versa. And that's why I think where we kind of reposition ourselves is how do we, when this is done, whatever that happens to be, how do we keep building on that?
Love it. Right? And honestly, everywhere, well, I don't know what your business plan is, but, or where Alex is on all of this, but the everywhere in between, right? Like when you think Red Deer and some of the smaller towns and these rural areas that are getting access to a lot of really great content, a lot of great support, if you have internet access, there are no barriers. Well, very few barriers right now as far as even access. Like there's the amazing thing sometimes is in the learning of the new either technology or allowing your headspace to say, I can make a friend online. There's some of that for some people. What is interesting to me is that we're all getting challenged on our skills, on our mindset, about growth, on what does connection really mean. I've always been, some people have said over the years, they said, because I'm from a very old, no internet world, but this idea of somehow the internet actually disconnecting us and becoming this isolation tool where people don't have authentic connections. I think all of this has proven all of that wrong, or much of that wrong, where there certainly can be an isolated experience online, but now everybody is certainly needing the connection. Had we had this crisis 10, 15, 20 years ago, this would look very different.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, the tools that we have, like, I mean, like I would make phone calls a lot before this happened. And now I'm trying to Zoom as much as possible, just because there's that little bit of even getting onto this call, right? Which is like my 4th or 5th Zoom call of the day, right? You get that euphoria of another person.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And it's like, so good to see you and all this other stuff. And it feel like you get the feeling like it's really, it's real. It's that real feeling of seeing people.
You know what's the interesting part is I went into the office, like to the physical space of work, wondering what I was getting, because I was just at the house, and we're so lucky that we can, you've got the social distancing measures in place, always sanitize. Like I don't think I've ever seen not spotless, but now even more so. And to just walk in there, and even if there's one person way in the back, locked in their office, but you can their computer, you're like, wow. It's just, I'm getting thinking about it. Because you have to get that change of scenery. And even if I have no work to do, which is not everything, go and just to sit, just to walk into the door, that brings that energy back, So
Yep, I've never have I ever been so excited to see the stairs before, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I took a picture of them. I don't know if you saw them on Instagram, but it's like, these are the golden stairs.
You know, and even if I go and I lock myself in our office there versus being locked in my office here, it's completely different, like total different vibe. And I think that, you know, again, you guys have done such a great job of making that a possibility for people, because you know, we're creators, and a lot of your members are creatives and need that motivation to do something, and you got to put your pants on one eventually, right?
In September.
Just even to make sure that they fit you still, you got to put your pants
true.
So it's, you know, it's nice to get out of the house.
And it's and again, we, you know, we discussed this again. I think when this all first started, there's that sense of we don't know, like we really don't know, and we still really don't know, but we know a little bit more now than we did a month ago. And we batted around, like, what happens if we have to close, right? Like, or should we close? And you know, we looked at all the guidelines at the time, and they're still true today. And it's like, well, no, we like honestly have a duty to our members, for those members who want that change of scenery, right? That it's available to them whenever they need. Yeah. And so, you know, we've done, you know, more disinfecting measures. We've done the social distancing measures. So where we can, we've taken away chairs. Where we haven't been able to, we've you know, put signs up on all the chairs and that sort of stuff. You know, we've got the cleaners coming in more often. We've closed the doors to the public, so only members have access. You know, and so we're really, you know, making sure that it's a safe place to be. And to be fair, like a good chunk of people are staying home. So even if you were to go to Red Mile's on 2 floors, we could easily have probably like 30, 40 people come to Red Mile, 50 people, and there'd be way enough room for people to separate. And just because you've physically distanced doesn't mean that you can't, you know, yell across the room. Elisa!
I think at work, Nicer was the first time not first time, but you guys made a distinction that we aren't social distancing, we're physically distancing, right? We're not.
I think that was mine. I think I took that one.
Yeah, kudos to you. No, but that's the truth. Like we're still social. I think we're more social now than ever have before.
Oh, exactly.
Right, but we're just not physically there, which is also. You know, I mean, it's nice not to put your pants on some days, but at the same time, you need a scenery.
So I'm really curious, Sean, because your members are made up of every industry, all sorts of personalities. One beautiful thing of Jen and I having this opportunity to live interview a lot of friends from our community and clients has been the difference in how they're responding. And so in a conversation I had earlier today, they were talking about the risk takers, the difference between the risk takers and the people that really love the status quo, or they're familiar with a certain pattern of things, and the difference. So I know we're just supposed to be wrapping up a little bit now, but I'm so curious because you're working with entrepreneurs, but would you say that you're a risk taker, or you're somebody that would like to kind of maintain a status quo to a certain point? And how has that affected your response to the crisis?
It's been interesting. I know me personally, I tend to err on the side of risk. I always like to know, like, hey, what's our next growth step? How do we look towards the future? It's the nature of my role. This crisis has given us it's shown me that, hey, sometimes you do have to, like, you know, get through. Right, so there's a bit of a survival mode.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah, so there's definitely a certain aspect of survive, but we've gotten through that, and now we're in thrive mode. We're really looking forward, to, hey, you know, our growth plans that we had for 2020. I honestly think we can actually beat those growth plans now.
Amazing.
Because COVID plays a part in that. Yeah. And it's again too, like, fortune does favor the bold. And the business community and businesses that were going to make it out of this, may have just that survival metric, but the ones that are really going to grow and thrive are the ones who are looking at what can I do now, right? How do I be better now? And I mean, there might be certain things that you can't do until you open, but you can prepare and be ready for them, and focus on, being ready to really do that.
Yeah.
And if you've truly tested your market, like if you've truly built relationships with, and in our world, with your event attendants, with your customers, with your network, with your donors, that shows itself now, right? But if it isn't as strong as you would like it to be, I love that advice, because it can still be a growth year.
Absolutely.
It's different, but the risk might be getting your head in the space that it's like and we joke, actually, well, I joke, I don't know, but Jen is laughing, but we published a magazine called Moments, and I had chosen, what was it, in January, probably December or January, I chose the theme of expand, and everything that I was bookmarking, I wanted to put in this magazine, I'm like will it still work? Can we still have that conversation? And the more I'm going through things, the more it actually is more prevalent and more relevant now than it ever has been. Like I had chosen 3 books, and one of them was, these are old business books, but one of them was Just Enough Anxiety, and it has a picture of an elastic band being stretched to the limit.
Right.
And it's the idea of just enough anxiety for your business success. And I don't want to take away from anybody's mental wellness issues right now, or what anxiety means for people right now. But there is this edge that I think we can be living on, where it is a bit of a risk to say that there's something on the other side of this, and we're going to actually still pursue it.
Well, and also I think that you can, I hate to look at it this way, but it's like, we're all feeling a form of anxiety now. And like me personally, I'm very, I never have a problem sleeping at night. I very rarely feel anxious or nervous or anything like that. But like, this has given me some anxiety, and I'm able to talk about that with people, and with my friends, and with my family, and with my coworkers, and with the community. And I'm also able to listen, because we're all kind of going through it. And like, how do we use that as a tool to help us grow, and to ensure that we don't maybe make a growth mistake that we would make before. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, everything is an opportunity. Like, there really are, the obstacles that are thrown in your way can easily be turned into opportunities with the right mindset, with the right vision. You might not see it today, but if you come into it with that sort of thinking, you will. You'll eventually find the answer.
Yeah. So we're getting close to the end. Anything that you'd like to share with people on what's coming next for Work Nicer, links we can share with them? I will be doing a watch party after this, so I can add in the comment section.
Okay, perfect.
So where they can find you, upcoming, like the Slack channels basically for members, but maybe there's other ways they can connect with you personally or with the members.
Well, I would start by going to worknicer.com.
Okay.
On our front page, we've changed the layout to be kind of our communications that we've had with our members with regards to COVID. So even if you're not a member of Work Nicer, you can get a flavor for how we operate with our community right there. We are still, like I mentioned, we're still open, right, to members, and we're still, you might find it surprising, I don't, but we're still signing up new members. We've done so in April, right? Because there are people who need to get out of the house. They just do, and they need to have a safe spot where they can, hey, I can at least get some stuff done for a couple days a week and know that I'm safe and I'm not taking risks, and so we're still doing stuff like that as well. But really, worknicer.com is kind of the best resource for that sort of stuff. And then, of course, all of our social channels. It's pretty easy. Just search Work Nicer: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I am Twitter, And I'm also going to be opening a TikTok at some point.
We're going to look forward to that.
I know, well, I am too. You heard it here
You
first,
know what?
everyone.
I don't know that I could
Big news
stomach
drop right
another platform. Like I like to learn new things, but my head is about to explode with all the new stuff I have to wrap my head around these days. Jen, any wrap ups for you? Like obviously.
Honestly, like once I have a free afternoon of my own, I cannot wait to go back to the office. If I could put my kids there and do the I absolutely would, but I don't want to do that to anyone else, just in case they do happen to pop in. But
yeah, that's fair. Kids and pets are welcome. Like kids and dogs are welcome at work. Nicer, like almost all of our outposts. Just our rule is like we're not here to babysit them, so make sure that they're well behaved.
Right. And generally that would be the case, but this quarantine has created.
Oh, I know.
Children.
This is different.
Well, I'll make sure to direct you to our parenting session.
Yes,
that will run. So you can join in on that one.
And maybe Jen can do like a parenting your events
exactly.
Parenting through events.
No, exactly. And I mean, again, this is where by being a member of a community like this, you can fall into these sorts of ideas by keeping channels open, by continuing to communicate, by seeing each other as often as possible. So
we appreciate you, Sean, and the whole team, Alex, Sarah, the whole team there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We're in it for the long haul, and we're so thrilled to be able to have a chat with you in our Kennedy happy hour.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Cheers to expansion and growth and all good stuff to come.
I'll turn my notifications back on so that
I'll hit you directly. I got your email address too.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. And we'll chat with you again soon, Sean.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.